When I say Pokemon, what is the first thing that comes to your head? This, right? Well, if you're not too familiar with Pokemon, then that's what comes to your head, and that's fine. But I'm here to tell you my story about Pokemon and how it affected me. As of today recording this video, Pokemon is 23 years old. If you've been following Pokemon since you were first introduced to it, whether it was Red and Blue, Gold and Silver, Leaf Green and Fire Red, Ruby and Sapphire, etc., you know that Pokemon has been a phenomenon from the jump. Now if you ever played Pokemon, I want you to remember back to the first time you ever turned on that Game Boy, that DS, or even that N64 to play Pokemon Stadium. What is the feeling that you get? Is it the feeling of being able to immerse yourself in a world? Or does it just make you happy? My first Pokemon memory can be traced all the way back to 2008. I was in 2nd grade and I had found Pokemon Leaf Green in a suitcase in my garage. I remember that day like it was yesterday. I saw a bright green casing and immediately caught my eye. I picked it up so excited to see what it was. Ran into my house, took it upstairs, showed my older brother what I found, and he told me to play it. I took my black Game Boy, opened it, blew in the cartridge, and put it in the Game Boy and turned it on, and the rest is history. I became a Pokemon fanatic with that first click. I was so curious. This beautiful world had captured me and made me wonder what more there was to this world of Pokemon. I played it non-stop. I would be in bed at night on a school night up late under the covers playing the game, giving me the feeling that I was in my own world and nothing around me was real, just immersed in the game. I would take this game anywhere and everywhere. I went from sneaking it at school to road trips to LA, and I just couldn't get enough of it. This one little game gave me so much happiness and fulfillment, but that was only a small piece of what Pokemon had to offer, and little did I know my love for Pokemon would slowly become an addiction. Now, I jumped a lot around with these games, so I'm gonna tell you the order I played these games in to the best of my ability. Leaf Green, Pearl, Sapphire, Heart Gold, Red, Emerald, Gold, Black, and then in order of release all the way up to Alpha Sapphire. With Pokemon Pearl, I remember going to the gaming store I had in my town on my birthday one year to go get it, and when I brought it home, the whole game was hacked. All 493 or so Pokemon were caught and were in the Pokecenter PC, and a limited quantity of every item you could ever think of in Pokemon history was in my bag. Now you could say because the game was already played and hacked, there was no point in buying it or even playing it. Well, you were wrong, because the game was just as fun. Sapphire was honestly kind of whatever to me. Like, I still played it and enjoyed it, but compared to the others, this is sort of my least favorite Pokemon game, only due to the animation style and it being too little restricted in places where other games weren't. Heart Gold I remember getting for my 10th birthday, and I had gotten many other presents that year, but I was mainly excited for Heart Gold. It came with this little Pokewalker where you would essentially put one of your Pokemon in it and walk with it on your waist, and it will level up, sort of like a Tamagotchi type of thing for Pokemon of some sort. Red, I specifically remember being nosy and going in my parents' closet where they had a bin of random stuff, and I dug around in it and pulled out Pokemon Red. And I was very confused because this cartridge was bigger than the others, and then I soon realized that this was the first iteration of Fire Red and Leaf Green. I put it in and started playing it and soon saw how much more difficult the older and older the games were. And that's kind of where I draw the line with these new Pokemon games. I feel like I don't enjoy them as I used to, because nowadays they're just too easy. I remember I would get so frustrated trying to catch a Mewtwo in a cave. It took me a day or two to go through and saving it at that one point right before I go up to him. Now, nowadays with these newer Pokemon games or newer games in general, it's kind of handed to you on a silver platter. The difficulty is not there anymore. And I can go on and on about this topic about games nowadays versus back then, but that's another time for another video. Emerald is what saved Gen 3 for me. It was Ruby and Sapphire basically combined into one game, and it added a whole type of new story and a legendary on top of being able to get Groudon and Kyogre. It had a battle frontier which made playing the game even more fun, and I remember finding it in my brother's room, and the Pokemon he had on that game were stacked. I wanted to play it, but eventually I ended up getting one of my own that I own to this day. Gold was kind of the same story with Red. I found it in my brother's closet being nosy once again and realized how much harder the game was but found that Heart Gold was slightly more difficult than Gold. And I have to give salute to Game Freak because they really did do a good job with that remake, adding more things to it while keeping it close to the core. Every single one of these games has a very distinct place in my heart and a distinct memory. Each one gave me an experience and each one has a special purpose inside me. Video games, to me at least, gives off that sense of satisfaction through a virtual world where no other thing can really do. Video games make people happy, and what I hate most is when adults give kids shit for playing them because it's like, it makes your kid happy. Now, if it's an addiction, then yeah, it might be a problem, but stop giving us shit for it. Mass shootings don't happen because kids play too much Call of Duty or too many shooting games. That's not the problem. The problem is that your kid has probably some mental issues going on in his or her head that needs attention, but parents don't see that and want to blame it on everything else to make it seem like where the person who's done the mass shooting is in the right. Twisted, but that's how our world is. Video games are a beautiful work of art. There's something for everyone, whether you're the casual gamer or not. Gaming is universal, and anyone and everyone can enjoy it.